What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Nick, I'm feeling pretty freaking good.
Oh
New Orleans.
Oh no, we're here. We've hit this point. We're here.
No, we are.
I'm
just
here.
Him.
I said I will cut my nuts off if Derek Carr doesn't finish as a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. That's
Top
how
12.
good I'm feeling. Yeah, top 12. Okay.
Yeah, he said he would cut
Bro,
his genitals
he was
off.
like 16 last year. He was number 1 over the final 6 weeks.
God, you love that final 6
Yeah,
weeks.
because it matters. Because you ran like a little bit of motion and a little bit of play action. And let's just call a spade a spade. Pete Carmichael sucked. Okay? And this offense is straight up evolving in front of our eyes. And everybody, look, everybody I've talked to, Nick, everybody else, right? Everybody you read, listen to, Ross, Luke, anybody. There's this begrudging credit being given where everybody knows they don't want to write that Derek Carr's doing good because the fans are going to come after them and call them idiots and get angry about it. But objectively, he's had a great offseason.
He was 10th in quarterback rating. I guess I didn't realize that.
So he's already top 12 last year?
No.
Yes.
I don't know what metric we're using here, but I mean he was top 10 in one. I mean, it's possible. It's definitely it's possible. But yeah, you're right. There is like a begrudging credit. I mean, like I'm afraid every time I give him credit. Like we did a show recently and we were doing like just, our offseason MVPs or whatever. And I gave my MVP to Carr. And, I was like scared to say it. But like he had a good offseason. And he should have a good offseason, right? Like nobody's rushing him. Like Trevor Penning isn't an issue yet. They should have hired an offense that should make him better. Like he should look good in it. He's smart. The offense sets up predetermined reads at the line of scrimmage. So he's going out there. He knows where he's going with the ball. Like it's coming out quickly. In a perfect little setting, all of it should look amazing. He looked amazing last year kind of in camp. But
that's true.
I mean, it's possible. Like top 12, like if you give a there's a bunch of guys. I think if you do the list of quarterbacks, there's a bunch of guys that are clearly better. And then there's like Tua, like you give Tua a good offense and all of a sudden he's a top, I don't know, 12, 14 quarterback. If you put him in a bad offense, he's probably 18, 19, 20. Like, so there's that group of guys that I think if you give them the right system, there's a possibility for it. I don't know that I'm betting on Carr being top 12, but like, I think a lot of lists I look at had him like 18th last year. And I think at the end of the season, it's definitely possible that he looks better than 18th. I think he had a 76 rating on Madden. It's definitely possible that, in the updates, he raises that 76 rating or whatever, if this offense does help him. But like, I will say like his best seasons were pure West Coast. He's kind of back in a pure West Coast system. So, maybe there it is possible.
One thing in the piece that we referenced at the beginning of last hour had to do with Trevor Penning and kind of the up and down nature of his own OTAs and minicamp. And look, the physical side of it is one thing. If you just physically can't cut it in the NFL, that is what it is, man, right? You're putting in all the work and maybe you're just not up to snuff. But reading about him having mental errors did frustrate me a bit because that's something that is completely within your control. It is a study-based issue. You are a veteran. I don't care if you've been hurt. But I don't want to run too far with it. In your opinion, were his MAs, his kind of mental misassignments, were they outliers, or was it just a couple more than maybe others? Was it the same as others? What's your view on it?
I mean, I don't think they were outliers. It's kind of unfair because, like, I don't necessarily know exactly what he's supposed to be doing. I don't have film. Like, you're kind of trying to watch
for sure
through the scrum and everything. I was positioning myself in the end zone, so I was getting the O-line view when they were doing run drills, so you can see it a little bit better. It just felt like he was missing his landmarks, every day. Like not every single play, but like every day you'd see something where you'd be like, huh, like was he sure looked like he was supposed to hit this guy, like, and it wasn't happening. So that was a thing. Kind of falling out of his stance and false starting, like that was kind of a thing that was happening a little bit. So there's definitely some stuff that needs to get cleaned up. Like the first OTA, we went out there and he had a clean practice, and I was like, oh my God, like he's got it. Like this is gonna work. And then I think the fair way to put it is that we were just kind of reminded that it's gonna be a learning process, and he is moving to a new position, and he is a guy that struggled to get on the field last year, and he is hearing new coaching, and there's definitely a point from which he needs to grow. I don't know if he's gonna actually do it or not. I think one thing that kind of opened my eyes a little bit is kind of just doing a study of offensive lines around the league, and then specifically the Shanahan type offenses. And there is kind of like not a high premium value placed on the right tackle in those systems. The 49ers in particular, like they just don't invest at right tackle. Like they have a 4th rounder there. They let their guy go. Their philosophy is that, they can kind of coach around it, hide it, don't need it, develop it, and spend your money on guys that touch the ball. So, I mean, maybe it's a thing where, I don't know, you get a guy with a lot of physical ability and you just get him to a point where he's okay and maybe it works. There's like 3 huge questions for the season for me. That's one. I think A.T. Perry's development's another one, and defensive tackle is kind of a concern to me. The nose, just kind of that big body guy against the run. I think they need to kind of figure that out still.
Last one or this isn't really about Penning. I guess this is more about the O-line as a whole. We've said it's the biggest swing position on this team. So much of what this team wants to do, though, starts with running the ball. You want to make play action and everything else work. You want to hide Trevor Penning. You want to play to his strengths and kind of masks his weaknesses. Like, you have to be able to run the ball effectively. That's probably the hardest thing to get a read on when you don't have pads on in these type of scenarios. How are you feeling about the Saints rushing attack after being maybe the most ineffective in the league last year?
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating to me. Like, I think obviously Alvin, presuming he's playing football this year, is going to be the number 1 guy. I thought for sure it was going to be Kendre Miller, and I thought Kendre Miller was going to possibly start to push a little bit, and that's probably the idea of drafting him in the 3rd round, is that you get Alvin to the end of this contract and you have your successor in place. Again, really hard to judge, but Kendre Miller had a I don't know, kind of a quiet 6 practices. Like it didn't look like it was taken. The new offense, I would say if I had to set a depth chart right now, like Jamal Williams is definitely number 2. And then it felt like Jordan Mims was touching the ball more than Kendre. So I don't know exactly what was going on there, but it was surprising to me. I was kind of hey, this is going to be the Kendre Miller breakout season. I'm completely off that take. Like I got to see it at this point. Like it was surprising to me. I mean, I think, I do think the way they're going to run the ball and the way they're going to build this offense. So you've seen it like out there, like, just kind of the way they were running stuff off the same looks. Like sometimes it got hard to follow the action a little bit, which is, a good thing. Like you're watching the quarterback on a boot and like, oh wait, like they're running the ball the other way and now he's on a boot and they're hitting the crossing route, like off the same look, and the defense is going this direction and your tight end's wide open in space. Like just some of the stuff they were doing to get like eyes moving. It affected, us watching, I think, and you could see the effect on the field. So you could just kind of see, the strokes of the paintbrush out there, and the picture, it looked like it was painting a good picture.
Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the 2 guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.